This packaging came with something the other day, and now he has chosen to like make it a nest in his bed. So I've had to pause like every couple seconds because he wants to rustle in this nest, but I don't have the heart to take it from him. So I hope you appreciate what I do for you. Yes. Hi. I guess I can't be a good YouTuber and a good cat mom at the same time. Hello. Welcome back. Nope. I honestly didn't think I was gonna come back and make another video. Here we are. Now we all know it is that most wondrous time of year now that October has finally shown herself, and everyone can freely enjoy fall vibes. Unless you're like me and you live where it is still 75 and the colors have not changed yet. Anyway, everybody loves Halloween. You would think it is a national holiday in this country, honestly, the way Americans celebrate it. I do love autumn so much. Although you can probably tell that I'm a bit stuffy, and that is because my allergies hate autumn, unlike my brain. That's great. Though I do really love autumn, Halloween has never been my favorite holiday, and I love a lot of aspects of it. I love dressing up when there's occasion to, although it becomes less and less so as an adult, unless there's a party going on. Not this year. Nobody's going to any parties. You better not be going to any parties anyway. Halloween has never been the holiday like Christmas is, and that can be attributed to one simple fact, that I am a scared little bitch. I have always had an overly heightened sense of what is scary. There were so many movies, TV shows, and even books that I couldn't handle as a kid for no logical reason other than my imagination just ran wild.
My sensors indicate that you are indeed a weenie.
While all the other kids in the 2000s were enjoying reading all the Harry Potter books and following along, I did not read them until I was in high school. I think because they used to show some of the movies on television, just from seeing the horribly CGI'd Voldemort.
Run.
That was enough to scare me and say that I didn't want to read the books. The point being that I have always been a wimp. I still will not watch any horror movies. I don't care what it is, my mind will go crazy and obsess over it. So I don't even tempt the idea of watching a horror movie. Believe me, it took a lot just to get through all the White Walker scenes in Game of Thrones. Even knowing that that was all CGI and makeup, I still have nightmares. I can handle some thriller movies, occasional gruesome or scary, especially if it's someone in a mask or makeup, but I don't watch scary movies generally. So what is one to do when you want to enjoy those fall spooky vibes, but literally everything being thrown at you is Netflix saying, hello,
would you like to watch a horror movie?
And I say, no. Well, I have a go-to list of, hi. Gonna sit behind me and be my Halloween accessory? No. Smell tea? So you're gonna sit with me but not really sit with me. You can't jump on my tripod again. That is why today I am sharing the 10 movies that are my annual go-tos for those spooky vibes without being too scary, for all my fellow wimps out there. At number 10 is Practical Magic. Practical Magic is a movie from the 90s. It is about two sisters, played by Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman, who come from a family of witches. I wouldn't say a rom-com, because there aren't that many funny moments in it. It's always a go-to October movie for me, just because it has witches, obviously, but it has some of those other spooky vibes. So it might be a bit cheesy and maybe not everyone's first pick for a Halloween movie, but if you're in the mood for that kind of movie, I think this is a good one to watch. at this time of the year. Number 9 is Curse of the Were-Rabbit. Now, this is a Wallace and Gromit movie. I don't think a ton of people my age know about Wallace and Gromit. In this movie, Wallace and Gromit play a couple of exterminators, but they're not really exterminators because they don't kill. They live in this town where everyone grows these massive prize-winning vegetables and there's a competition for it. So naturally, the exterminators are sought after to take care of the rabbit problem. And where the spooky element comes in is that in classic Wallace and Gromit fashion, something goes awry with one of Wallace's contraptions, and he basically is turned into a were-rabbit. And basically the plot continues in the typical monster hunter format. The only beef I have with this movie is I believe it beat Howl's Moving Castle for Best Animated Feature in 2005. Still gonna be salty about that a little bit, but it is an excellent Halloween movie if you want just a giggle. Number 8 is Scooby-Doo Zombie Island. And this is one of the classic 90s Scooby-Doo movies that I grew up with. Was always playing on Cartoon Network, especially around this time of year. And basically the gang is reunited and they head to Louisiana, specifically New Orleans area, to investigate a supposedly real haunted house. So I won't spoil the whole plot, but yeah, there are ghosts and zombies and all kind of creepy monsters that you would expect from Scooby-Doo. This is actually one of the aforementioned movies that terrified me as a little kid. I am glad that I've gone back now and really enjoy this movie because I remember it so well. Number 7 is Hocus Pocus. I'm not original for putting Hocus Pocus on this list. Obviously, a lot of people, especially my age, adore this movie, so it's not an original pick by any means. So if by some chance you don't know what Hocus Pocus is, it is a Disney Channel original movie, and in a nutshell follows these kids who have a run-in with some child-eating witches. Doesn't sound like the kind of thing that would be a Disney Channel original movie, and yet I don't know if you would appreciate this movie if you didn't have some nostalgia for it. It's pretty cheesy at times, but there is some great comedy and some great one-liners from it. So at number 6 on my list is the third Harry Potter movie, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. I like Harry Potter. My favorite is actually the first movie. The third movie, just for spooky season, you know, it's got werewolves and dementors, but also just the directing style and the cinematography style and how it's so different than all the other Harry Potter movies is just perfect for Halloween. Number 5 on the list is Beetlejuice. Again, not a super original take. This is my favorite of all of Tim Burton's live action movies. I do like Sleepy Hollow actually a lot too, but it didn't make it on this list just because it is, in my opinion, a little bit more on the scary side. If you're unfamiliar with this classic Tim Burton movie, it follows a couple played by Gina Davis and Alec Baldwin, who, may I say, it's about them and their untimely demise. They learn how to become ghosts. They are trying to haunt their own house to prevent the new family that comes in to, like, ruining the entire house. You have some iconic Winona Ryder as Lydia, who is, I'm pretty sure, the goth icon, and Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice. Don't say it 3 times though. He's like a demon. Well, no. He's a poltergeist, right? Yes. Anyway, Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis's characters enlist him to help them and scare them away. But things go awry because he is a not nice guy. But it's really funny and entertaining. Definitely, if you haven't watched it before, what are you doing, go watch it. At number 4, we have one more Scooby-Doo movie, and that is Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost. This is another one from the 90s that I grew up with and was on TV all the time, especially at Halloween, and it is about the gang, and they go to this little town in Massachusetts. I can't remember if they say it's Salem specifically, or if it's supposed to be just like faux Salem. There is a witch haunting it, or supposedly haunting it, and you find out what's actually going on with that. This is also the classic Scooby-Doo movie that has the Hex Girls in it. And yeah, this one's placed higher above Zombie Island because I definitely preferred this one. Number 3 is Corpse Bride. The Corpse Bride is a lovely gothic romance, and it is about Victor, who is supposed to get married to this girl that he's never met before. They do meet, but Victor is really shy and fumbling with his practice vows for the ceremony. Basically, he goes into the woods to re-practice his vows and accidentally proposes to a corpse bride, and the corpse bride drags him down into the underworld because she believes they're married. I don't know how much to say without spoiling the entire movie, but this Tim Burton movie has always stuck with me as my favorite of his stop motion, more so than The Nightmare Before Christmas, which I think is the definite popular winner. And I do enjoy Nightmare Before Christmas, but Corpse Bride has just always been my favorite. That's all I gotta say. Number 2 on the list is What We Do in the Shadows. This film is a satire comedy filmed in a documentary style about a house full of vampires that live together. There are definitely some spots that would be a little scary if you're not used to watching anything scary at all. It's not horror, there's just some gory bits, because they're vampires, obviously, but it's filmed in a very satirical way, so even though it is scary, it's really not scary. There are so many good one-liners from this movie also. Yeah, excellent film. And on a related note, the TV show is also excellent. So if you like the movie, you will also like the show. Before we get to the number 1 spot, I just want to give an honorable mention to another movie that didn't make this list, and that is It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. I didn't include it on this list just because it's really not a movie. It's 20 to 30 minutes long, but this is a classic. It has always been in my family a must-watch every single year. And the number 1 must-have for spooky but not scary season is Over the Garden Wall. Over the Garden Wall is a mini-series produced by Cartoon Network, which is 10 episodes long. Technically, it's not a movie, and so this is kind of cheating, but I watch it like a movie. So there's 10 episodes, and it equates to just under 2 hours watch time. If you want something to get you into the autumn mood, look no further. You will watch this show and be ready to plop a pumpkin on top of your head and dance around a grave. They just so perfectly captured the feeling of autumn. How to summarize this show without being spoilery. The show is about 2 brothers, Wirt and Greg, and they find themselves in this whimsical fantasy land. But basically, it's a bit of a mystery because you don't know how they got there. There's really no explanation until towards the end of the show what's actually going on. So all you know for most of the show is that they are in this whimsical realm and they are trying to find a way back home. And many a spooky thing ensues. It is fantastical and whimsical and a bit of a mystery, so that's fun, and also quite funny. By just looking at the beautiful sceneries that are painted, you automatically get into those October vibes. I have been watching it for many years in a row now and introduced my sister to it a couple years ago, and so now it is our tradition to watch it together. So I encourage you to make it part of your spooky traditions as well and enjoy a new show if you've never heard of it. And that is all 10 spooky but not scary October movies. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found some maybe new movies that you haven't watched yet that you can go and watch to get you into the season. Or if you've already seen all of these movies, then good on you. Go watch some of them again if you haven't watched them yet this year. Or if you have another spooky movie that you'd like to suggest, you can leave a comment about that. There are definitely some ones that I do watch from time to time. They're just not an annual watch for me, so I didn't put them on this list, but there are definitely tons of other options if you want a not scary movie. I mean, heck, like all the Halloween Town movies on Disney Channel, that gives you like 5 right there. I guess now that I have 2 videos, officially a channel now. How many times have you heard like and subscribe? I know I have a lot, but you know, that's kind of all you can do on this platform to encourage people to make more videos. So if you want to see more videos, please subscribe. Let me know what you'd like to see next. I hope you are all well, even though it is definitely not a normal year. Just do whatever you can to enjoy the holiday season while still being safe and healthy and responsible. And until the next time, bye.